Steve Karoly is the former assistant administrator with the TSA and is currently the executive vice president of K2 Security. We are pleased to have him in studio this morning. Steve, good to see you.
Good to see you, Tom.
I want to start with what we just looked at. That is a terrifying scene anytime you can see a gun go off at an airport. But what does that tell you about the mindset of travelers right now when they have a reaction like that?
Well, obviously, when you hear a gunshot, people are going to think the worst right away. But that's one of the reasons why people need to check their bags before they actually pack their bags in their house, because sometimes they're using an old bag and who knows what's in it from a couple of years ago.
Recently, we have had massive disruptions in flight schedules. Some of the airlines have blamed it on their passengers. Some of the employees have blamed it on vaccine mandates. Where are we right now with our airline industry? Are they able to handle the capacity that is flowing into this transportation system right now?
Yeah, so on average, I would say yes. Obviously, over the Thanksgiving holiday is a big holiday, the biggest holiday, biggest travel holiday of the year. So this upcoming week is going to be really heavy, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Sunday after. So they're ready, but they have to be flexible as well.
Do they need this as an industry right now? Because obviously for the first year of the pandemic, everything shut down altogether. They did start getting travelers in again when we passed the 1 year mark. But, you know, a lot of people formed travel habits as a result of this. And maybe, you know, they might think twice about getting on a plane.
Yeah, so again, they got to regain that habit, right? So a lot of them folks haven't traveled in a couple of years. So things have changed a little bit. But yes, I think the people need to get out there. They need to go and do their thing, what they planned on doing, and it shouldn't stop them.
One of the most disturbing things we've seen, especially with air travel over this pandemic, are these incidents of violence against flight attendants, against people at ticket counters and things like that. When you look at that, what do you make of it? And is that a result of the pandemic? Is that a result of frustration in the airline industry? Given your experience, what do you think's fueling this stuff?
So we have seen that kind of, we'll say, havoc on planes, normal. There's a certain level. It has increased, obviously, and I think the pinned up emotions of folks wearing masks, not wearing masks, people don't like that. I mean, things get a little bit crazier at this time. So I think that plus the stress in general of the pandemic has caused that to increase.
One of the things we've seen lately is the escalating fuel costs. It's costing more to do all this. What are the airlines facing in return as far as jet fuel costs and things like that? Is it costing more to get these planes in the air right now?
Yeah, obviously, as just like we're driving cars, fuel's going up, so is the fuel for the planes. You'll see that rise in the ticket prices. It will get passed. Some of that will get passed to the passenger as expected, but hopefully it'll all settle out once we have the supply chain all squared away.
One of the things that we have seen in airports is obviously with these long lines, the TSA has also had to scramble to man a lot of these security stations. You know, we are 20 years now since 9/11. The TSA didn't exist before 9/11. 20 years in now, when you look at the establishment of the Transportation Security Agency, what can you say about it as far as being an effective means of deterring terrorism and violence in our nation's airways?
Oh, I think it's very effective. I mean, if you look at what has happened, nothing has happened since 9/11, obviously, thank God. But we have, and the security enterprise has increased its capabilities. It has become more of a system security perspective, meaning it's not just about a checkpoint, it's about all the security protocols that are in place to protect the traveling public.
And when you look back on the history of these last 20 years, obviously we have not suffered an attack the way we did on 9/11. But day to day, you know, we hear reports of, you know, a gun being found in a bag. Obviously, we saw this scene in Atlanta. Why do people still do this? Is it that they are just not familiar with the regulations, or is it they're trying somehow to get these weapons through security, even though in large part they're not allowed to do that unless you're a certain individual?
It's a good question. I think it's a variety of answers. It's some forget they even have it in their bag. Some are trying to get it through because they want to get it at wherever their destination is. And others may, you know, as much as we put out of what you can bring, prohibited items and what you shouldn't bring, people don't necessarily pay attention.
They tune it out?
I think so.
All right. We hope you have a good Thanksgiving this year wherever you're traveling. You traveling at all?
Yes, I am. Going to Pennsylvania.
Airlines, or are you going to drive that one?
Driving.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you in Breezewood on the way up there.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thanks,
all right.
Tom.
Steve, we appreciate you being with us this Sunday morning.